Okay, now we're moving on to chapter 4. So chapter 4 is about experiments and studies. An observational study, that's where it observes individuals and measures variables, but it doesn't try to change the experiment, so there isn't any treatment involved. With an experiment, you're going to put in some kind of treatment and you're going to measure their responses. So treatments are a condition applied to the individuals in an experiment, and then the placebo, that's going to be a fake empty treatment given to individuals. And from the placebo, you can also get the placebo effect, which is the response to the dummy treatment. Subjects are the experimental units, who are human beings. If you have a double-blind experiment, that's when the person applying the experiment and the person receiving the experiment have no idea what treatment they are getting. And if you have a confounding variable, that occurs when two variables are associated in a way that their effects on a response variable cannot be distinguished from each other. So it basically messes up the experiment, and it makes it a invalid experiment. Experimental units, where's that right there? Experimental units, the response collection of individuals to which the treatments are applied. For these experiments, you want to do a random assignment. So that's when they're assigned to treatments using a chance process. And you can do that on your calculator or through the chart thing, but I wouldn't recommend doing it with that because I don't even know where that chart is. I guess you would have to search it online. If something is statistically significant, that means it exerted an effect so large it would rarely occur by chance. So it's basically proven, but I don't know, they're just trying to not say that it did that. It's just said as statistically significant. So to do the randomized block design, I didn't really want to draw out an example, so I'm just going to show you through our notes that we took, so then you don't have to go back yourself. So here is the block assignment one. I'm going to do this example here, which revolves around popcorn. So there's 4 different types of popcorn, and it's deciding whether or not it's better to use the button or the recommended time on the bag. So here we have popcorn, and the 4 different kinds, which are butter, cheese, natural, kettle, and then off of that we're going to do button time, button time, button time, button time, and then we're designing an experiment here, and then you're going to count the unpopped kernels and compare. So that's how you would make a randomized block design, and that's just one example of that. Then for chapter 4, we also talked about whether or not we can make an inference from a study. I also don't have an example for inference from the study, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Oh, sorry, that was spelled wrong. Okay, so we're individuals randomly chosen, then yes, no, or where individually is randomly assigned to groups. So from this, what you can infer from these 2 questions is the population, or if it had cause and effect. So, or you can infer cause and effect. So if both answers are yes, both of these are going to be yes. If the individuals were randomly chosen, you can infer about the population, and that's because, yeah, I think about it like individuals are in a population, and that's kind of how you can remember that, but you can't do cause and effect because it's not in a group. And here it's going to be the opposite. You can infer cause and effect if it's in a group, but you cannot infer population because the individuals were not randomly chosen. And then if the answers were no to both of those, then it's going to be no to both of these as well.